This is the promised follow-up on the video I did on how not to do solar. So I'm back in Fairy Glen at the site of the infamous installation. So again, just to summarize, it's a SunSync 8 kilowatt inverter. They've got 2 Shoto batteries, good batteries, nice neat installation. But on the roof, they put the panels flat on a flat roof, and they put them under a tree. And this inverter wasn't actually optimized at all. Just had the basic factory settings on. So what we did is we did it in stages. I really wanted to experiment here, the first thing that the owners of this house did is they chopped the tree. They lopped the top of the tree off. I'll show you the tree now. They went quite huge actually. So tell me in the comments if you think they went over the top. But they wanted to get off the grid, and they wanted to get off the grid in a hurry. And it's only a townhouse with 2 people living in it, so there's no reason why they shouldn't have been off the grid with this amount of firepower, as it were. So what we did is we started with the tree, and I optimized the inverter, and we optimized the whole system, getting geysers on, timers, and scheduling them and so forth. And we found that we didn't even have to pick the panels up because they got enough. So we're not going to waste any of their money, or they're not going to waste their time or money actually tilting the panels up. They might in winter. We might look at it again in winter. But at this point, they are off the grid. Their batteries haven't got below about 60% for the last 2 weeks. So they are off the grid to all intents and purposes. Look, if they have big rainy weather for 3 or 4 days at a time, then you might find that your solar harvest isn't enough. But I'll take you outside and show you the tree, and you tell me if you think they went over the top or not. So there's the roof that I was standing on. The panels up there, that's a flat roof, and they're lying flat there, and you can see the solar cables coming down the side there. And then above my car is this tree that they chopped the top off. They really went huge. But as you can see, the tree is starting to sprout again until rebush. So what do you think? Do you think they went too far? But they were committed, and they achieved the objective. They are off the grid. They're in a lovely complex. And as you can see, it's well enough treed. And this tree will regenerate. Standing in the exact spot where I did that last video on how not to install solar. And you can see the owners have decided not to tilt up their panels. They sort of wait and see because we suspected that they wouldn't even need to. They've got more than enough panels and batteries and size of inverter to handle their load. And as you can see, we've got some shade. Now that amount of shade would actually kill these panels almost completely. But it's not a big deal because it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and their panels are full, their batteries are full. And if I come around here to the tree, now that is where north is. And this is the tree. You can see my car's trying to get some shade under it. But these owners really didn't mess around. It's a big tree that they cut back like that. It's regrowing. By the end of summer, it'll be a nice bush again. But yes, they're not messing around. But the result of it is that these panels now have had sun all day, and this family is off the grid. I just checked on his app. And since this whole month so far, they've not used any electricity. So he keeps it joined to the grid just in case, but he doesn't need to. He can switch the grid off completely. So a good result. I'm here with Dr. Jeff.
Hello.
And we recently optimized his solar installation. It was installed by somebody else whose name we shall not mention. But this is the case where I did a video on how not to install solar. And this is the property I'm talking about. It was Jeff's installation.
Yeah.
Just in case you haven't seen that video, what the installer did is he put all the panels flat on the flat roof up there, and he didn't optimize the inverter, and he didn't put everything in the house onto the inverter. So even though they had solar, they were still spending money.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think, Jeff, we looked at the numbers earlier. Before you got your solar, which was a few months ago, you were spending about, was it 2,000?
Yeah.
About 2,000 Rand a month on electricity. Then after the solar was put in, that dropped to about 400.
Yeah.
400 a month.
Yeah.
So he was still paying 400 Rand a month, even though he had the solar installation. And that's where we came in to optimize. And the first thing we did is I optimized the actual inverter. And to see how it goes, I wanted to do this in stages. And then what we did is the next step was we put his geyser and so on onto solar as well.
Yes.
Okay. And they chopped the tree down, or the top of the tree off. It was quite severe.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what they were expecting. They asked the tree fella to lop the top off, but he went huge. But anyway, it's busy regrowing. By the end of summer, you'll have a tree again. And then the next phase was going to be to take the panels that were flat and tilt them up towards the sun. But actually, what we realized now, which I suspected, was that we don't need to do that at all, because those panels flat are actually producing more than enough. The batteries are more than enough. So this month so far, I checked on his app. He's used no electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
For
went
which
from
I'm very happy.
so he went from 2,000 Rand a month to 400 halfway through the optimization process. But once we got the electrician in to move things across and get everything in his house onto his solar, because he had more than enough capacity, it went down to zero. So there he is. There we are. So Jeff, you realize that has it sunk in yet that you're not going to pay for electricity again?
And I'm very happy.
For the rest of your life if you stay in this house.
I'm very happy. Yes, and thank you very much, Neil, for
Sure, no
all your
problem. No
effort.
problem.